Slam Summit Music Survival Guide number 26, featuring James Rivera, a.k.a. Vampiro of Helstar. So that's what a lot of people need to understand. Lead singers don't have it that easy, although everybody else thinks they do, but they don't. Keep listening to hear which one of us said that and what it's all about. So the innocence you stole was never yours to keep. What's up, everyone? We're talking today with really one of the great voices in metal history, a guy who's been on the scene for, actually, I won't say the number. I will say it's like over 40 years, right? You guys just celebrated your 40th anniversary.
50. Yeah, I know. Yeah, 40 years. 42 years, actually.
Yeah, wow,
I
incredible.
know.
But
Yeah.
but you're immortal anyway, right? We got
I'm
Vampiro.
immortal. Yeah, I never die.
That's Vampiro, aka James Rivera of Helstar. Again, one of the storied, really widely revered bands and voices in heavy metal and I think across the musical spectrum. But James, I know we've been trying to make this happen for a while. I'm so glad you're here. So glad to talk
We
to you today.
finally did.
Yes, and you got the fang too. That's excellent. I mean, not that they
Yeah,
can.
I did it for just for you. Well, I have to go feed after we're done with this. You know that.
Right, of
But I go
course.
to Whole Foods now. No more McDonald's because they make me fart very bad, and my coffin stinks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So now I go eat vegan people, and that smells very good.
There you go. At Whole Foods even. Yeah, so they're healthy and
Yeah,
wealthy.
they're very
Yeah.
healthy.
So, well, I mean, we have a lot to talk about, but first things first. I mean, 2025 for Hellstar is an important year. You guys have The Devil's Masquerade is coming out. Like, this is incredible.
Finally.
A new, yeah, an exciting new album. Which actually, I often, because I'm in the press, I often get promos. I've only heard bits and pieces. So tell me, I'm gonna learn. I'm excited as like the rest of the world. Tell us all about The Devil's Masquerade. I will say we got to talk about the last song on the record because I've
Oh,
heard
it's
about
amazing.
that, but tell about the whole record and we'll get to that. We'll get to the last song, the special secret surprise of that.
Well, when we were in the development movements of writing the record, we lost a member, a very valuable member, and but it was just differences. And then when we finally realized that, Hellstar has always been about Berrigan and Rivera. So we took the bull by the horns and we started rewriting a bunch of stuff that he had delivered, and we had to move on forward. And they turned out to be exactly what the fans wanted. So it was kind of one of those things where we've been writing together for years, Larry. And, we kind of felt it. And so Andrew did so much for us in Vampiro, one of the greatest writers we ever had, one of the greatest lineups we ever had. But in the end, when it comes down to personal situations, we decided that no, it's me and Berrigan again, and we created this record called The Devil's Masquerade. And we worked very hard, very diligently. And when I was in the studio with him, we made sure that I sang the best that I ever sang in my life. And he made sure that every song was better than anything we ever wrote. Because Berrigan is, you know, he's a
Yeah.
monster. And a lot of people um, don't give him credit, but he's another Tony Iommi, for that genre of metal. Because that when it comes to success in metal bands, there's Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Scorpions, Metallica, Megadeth. And then there's Megadeth, Testament, Overkill, da 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 da. And then there's Hellstar, Sanctuary, and it goes, there's tiers. But
Sure.
No one ever gave credit to Larry. He was one of the best writers, and
Yeah.
it proved it in Nosferatu. Why do you think Jeff Loomis is one of his biggest fans? There you go.
I wasn't aware, but yeah, Jeff Loomis, one of the best guitar
Oh
players in
yeah,
the
and
world.
Jeff
So,
Loomis is a big fan. When I toured with him when he was in Nevermore, I was in Destiny's End at the time. That gave the rebirth to metal. So there's a connection there. And Jeff even said, "Dude, fucking Larry." Yeah, he did like Andre too, but Larry. Of course, I'm still with Larry.
yeah, and Larry, you're right. Larry is I would say one of the absolute most underrated and underappreciated. You're right. The riffs just never stop, and the
No,
songwriting too. And I guess that's this is you guys, the songwriting, like the way you guys build these songs, like the song I quoted from the top, the way you guys build that song where it just keeps getting more and more intense as it goes along. That's great songwriting, like great riff too, but like great like composing, like putting pieces together. So. That's a skill. I think people take that for granted too. Like what a skill it is to build a song. You can have the best riff in the world and then ruin it with a terrible chorus or something. So
oh God, me and Larry worked together so hard on trying to. What we do is we want to outright what we did before, if that makes sense. We just want to go like, no, we're not gonna. Oh, this is weaker than what. No, we want to make it stronger, and we get together and we collaborate. It's not only lyrically, melody wise, musically wise, um, break wise, everything. We work together. That's why we've been this successful for 42 years.
yeah. Yeah. And again, my hat's off, not literally, but my hat is off to you
Yeah,
guys for
I like your
42.
hat. I want it.
Thanks. Yeah, the Irish gangster hat. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. But no, I mean, it's 42 years is great. Well, let's because I'm a fan. I appreciate what Hellstar is, and people I know people who are crazy for Hellstar. But let's kind of I'm not calling you out or anything, but like why
And we'll take
is
this as
Hellstar
long as you want to.
you said Hellstar's at tier three. Why isn't Hellstar up there with Metallica and Megadeth and Iron Maiden? Like what happened that Hellstar didn't
It was management.
yeah.
Yeah, management can either make you or break you. We had a bad management. Um, when Burning Star came out, we should have been on that ship, but we had a manager that was stupid and thought that he was gonna outdo Rod Smallwood, the guy from the manager
Yeah.
from Iron Maiden. Yeah, long story short, uh, destroyed our career. Yeah, destroyed our career. And me and Larry still talk about it to this day, you know. But it's kind of how it happened, you know. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just kids working at a law firm. And the next thing you know, we do this demo, and the next thing you know, it's number one in England. And then we get signed. And then the next thing you know, I'm going to be your, yeah. And then I'm like, okay, well, what do you know about the music business? Well, guess what it did? It effed us for the rest of our lives. And once
You
you're in the black book, there's no turning back. You see? So it took us all these years to finally come back and go, now I figured out. And now James is in control. And Larry loves that. So I hate being the manager, but yes, now look how far I've gotten us again. But it took a lot of work.
so what's
And
your
that's what happened.
Yeah, I've heard that story before from some bands who I love
Yeah.
who didn't, get as big as they should have. I've heard it and I've heard it a couple like from many bands. So what is your advice for anyone in the music business? What
You
is
know
your
what?
advice?
Number one, if you're young, don't quit your day job. Number two, get a good music lawyer. And number three, understand what's really happening in your life and you're willing to give up all this stuff because when you go on the road, that's the only way you're going to make it. And see, we didn't know that. The only way to get out there is constantly tour, especially for a metal band. That's where you sell your merchandise. That's when you keep going and you grow and you grow and grow. And look how many metal bands I've seen do that. Me and Larry are like, God, we should have did that. Yeah, but we weren't educated on it. And you know what? We hate it. We're like, God, well, we're senior citizens. Hey, at least I got a discount to the movie in whatever country I'm in. Hey, I got a discount for the movie. Yeah. Oh, you're the dude from Helstar. We love you. Yeah, yeah, cool.
Don't charge me full price. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's well, I mean that is I mean it's probably more so now even because in the 80s you could get money from record sales. Now
Yeah, no, you don't.
you don't even get that now.
They've cut the budgets down so much that they're hardly giving you anything anymore. But it's obvious why. And so for the younger bands, you're pretty much going to be on your own, and you're going to deliver a record, and you're going to say, "Hey, it's a license deal," and they're going to give you nothing, but they're going to put you out there in the world. You know what? You should take it because that's as far as you're going to get now. I mean, as far as an underground metal band, if you're a major heavy metal band, well, then of course you're not going to deal with that.
Sure.
But who is?
Sure.
Metallica,
Yeah,
Ozzy,
well,
Iron
yeah,
Maiden, Judas Priest. Well, you're not in that bracket, just like I am. Like no. I mean, it's insane to think that. Like I said, man, I'll never be at that level. It was a nice dream. It's a nice dream, but am I going to give up? No. What I'm going to do is still tour and still play in front of at least 1,000 people in Europe. You know what? Deliver my music, sell merchandise, and enjoy the company of people that I loved for the last 30, 40 years. And that's all that matters anymore. It's not going to go anywhere else. Now, I'm not going to headline where the Astros play in Houston. No, that's not going to happen. Oh my God, Hellstar's the headliner. That would be nice. Hey, you never know. If they were like fans, maybe they'll be like, hey, let's push these guys. But no, I mean, reality is that is where it's at.
sure. But I mean, again, like you guys do have such a passionate fan base, the people who know you, love you, and revere, what you guys do. So, you do have that part of it, for sure. So, like, Hellstar's got this great legacy. Like I said,
Oh yeah,
there's not, yeah, you don't have to be like touring, co-headlining with Taylor Swift. Like, I think that's not the only success. But we've talked about that on this show. Like, people are like,
yeah,
you're only successful if you have three mansions, in music, if you have three mansions and you're going to Diddy parties. Like that's like if you're less than that, you're not successful. People have that attitude. So it's good to
yeah.
hear you talk about this, like loving what you do and where, how all the things Hellstars accomplished. I don't know, that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Well, I love what I do. I always, I rehearse at home. I write constantly, and I always think, hey, you know, maybe one day, but I know reality, and our ship has passed. But you know what? What's good is that we have 16 albums. We're still loved and accept it. You know what? And leave it at that. You don't need to be a god. Yeah, it'd be nice. But I mean, that's reality. That's just the way it is. So I think that's why on the new record we wrote differently. And then on the next one, we're kind of going towards that. Now that Ozzy has really passed away, like, look, this can happen to any of us. And the reality is, we're not gods. There's only one God. Well, and then you know what? Ozzy even said that to me one time. There's only one God. Yeah, but is he really? Look what's going on in the world. Anyways, that's I don't want to get into all that stuff. But what I think is that we're very proud of what we do. We're very confident in what we do, and I think that we're very proud to say that I think this is one of the strongest records ever that we have ever written in a long time. And I think it was because of the pressure, um, the losing a really good member. And we were like completely like, oh God, what are we gonna do now? Andrew's gone. See, he doesn't know this, but I will say this publicly. I miss you, you bald-headed son of a bitch. I love you. But hey, you have to do what you got to do. So me and Larry took it by the horns, and I think that we wrote the best record ever, to be honest. We really did.
Well, I believe it. This is one thing I wanted to touch on with you. There's so many things. I don't know, James, we're going to run out
Yeah,
of
go
time.
ahead.
But
We have time.
yeah, so one of the things I wanted to definitely bring up was that Helstar for me, and some people are going to say this is blasphemy, but I feel like this is a band that's gotten better over the years. Of course, I love the classics. I love
Yeah.
the early records, but I think you guys really hit your stride in the last 15 years or so. Those are probably my favorite
Oh, they're
Hellstar
the
albums.
best.
Yeah, so and a lot, like I said, a lot of your old fans are like, "What how can you
Yeah,
say that?"
it's too modern.
Yeah,
They
but
got scared.
I think the riffing, the songwriting. So I mean, so I'm looking forward to the new one. So and another one. You just said that. You just kind of just threw that out. You're already working on the follow up to Devil's Masquerade.
Yeah. So see, we're not stopping. I thought Larry was going to retire, but he said, no, I'm going to retire, but you got to come down to Cabo and hang out with me in my hut. We're going to write. And we're
Uh,
going to write some shit that's going to blow people away. See, that's the thing. That's the way that Hellstar thinks. We we always felt that we were underrated. Number one, back in the day, uh, I think it was because of more of our nationality. Oh, there's just a bunch of Mexicans. Then the next thing you know, the record comes out, and people thought, oh God, they're from Europe. Yeah, right. And
Houston is
then Burning Star blew up, right? Then Remnants of War fucking destroyed the world, and then like, are you sure they're a bunch of Mexicans? Oh yeah, they are, yeah. And it was kind of weird, and it was like, I don't understand why that would be a factor of everything. Like, no, we're just a bunch of guys from Texas. Yes, we are a bunch of Mexicans. And yes, we were raised in the barrio. And yes, I fought my way to get my lunch money. And yes, maybe once in a while I might have killed somebody. No, I didn't. But anyways, like, look, this is the way it started, and we just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And when we got signed, I don't think anybody looked at it that way. Like, oh, they're just a bunch of Mexicans. No, they looked at it as these guys are amazing. And that's how our career started. And then so now when I talk to Larry, I go, it's kind of racial, isn't it? He's like, no, man. You see, they just didn't understand what we were doing. They thought we were from Europe. And I was like, dude, I'd be proud to be from Europe. Well, I don't know what country, but let me think. Let me think. I'd like to be German. Yes.
not Transylvanian.
And you know why? Because our label, our friends in Germany to this day are the biggest heavy metal audience in the world, right? And you know that, right?
Sure.
That's my passport now.
Hold it up a little more. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Okay.
my passport to Germany. I don't need to show anybody. They go, ah, heavy metal guy back. Yes, come, come. Did you see that?
Yeah, the pentagram. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
got
you
you.
see. And then I have the Dutch flag and I have the Greece flag, and I just go on and on. Now I have the Spanish flag too, but they don't really, they're lazy. I love my Spanish metal fans though.
But yeah,
But
you
you
know,
know what? Number one is America, my
it was.
American fans. And you know what? I'm so glad that heavy metal is blowing up here in America. And it's because of people like you, Jack. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's all about me. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But no, yeah, and I wanted to touch on that too because I know I watched a little bit of Larry when he was on with Jason McMaster, and they, it's awesome that Helstar, that you and Larry are, have so much pride in not only being Texans and being from Texas, but also in your, the Mexican heritage. I think it's awesome. And it's a very cool thing. Like, he talked a lot about that and on that show with Jason McMaster. So I think it's a cool thing. It never crossed my mind, and I can speak for many
I
metal.
know.
It was just never a
And
thing.
the thing is, I think that it's because of the way that the way the country is going right now. I've been to plenty of restaurants, and I run into people that don't speak English, and just the first thing that comes out of their mouth, Aussie. I'm like, no, I'm not Aussie. But then I educate them, and then I send them a link to my video. I go, but I am a very popular guy here in Houston. And then they look at it and they're like, and the next thing you know, they're at our shows the next time around. Like, yes. They're like, okay, well, you're better than Ozzy. I'm like, no, no, don't say that. Please don't ever say that. Because that insults me. Well, it actually makes me feel like, he was how do you say it? He was everything in the world to us. Let's leave it at that. You
Yeah.
know. So don't say I'm better than no, 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 no. Don't ever, ever say that because then you'll never be allowed to my show. No, you know, he had a unique voice. He was the best,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. For sure. I know, yeah, I know before we get going, I know you said you want to talk about this. So yeah, I mean, we're recording this in July of 2025.
Yeah,
We're still re actually it's August now, but we're still reeling from the death of Ozzy Osbourne, which I thought would never happen. It just seemed like,
I know.
he was going to outlive us all. But you're right. I realized, I mean, for me personally, I realized there's really not a week, maybe a 2 week period that goes by where his voice is not in my ear somehow through his solo
Yeah,
albums, through
I
Black
was just
Sabbath.
listening to Never Say Die.
Yeah.
I had it in my bedroom. I was listening, don't you ever, never say die. Dude, I was listening to the record, and I was like laying there with my cat, and I was like, well, I got to go to get on this interview.
So that's why you were late, it's because Ozzy. All
Yeah, I was a little late. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But no, but so I want to hear from you. I don't want to go on about it. But yeah, I mean, how important are these guys? The Lemmys, the Ozzies, who are not the Peter Steeles, the guys who left us, to
Well,
granted,
they all
yeah,
they have an impact in your life.
yeah,
I mean, you have to understand that without them, you would not be what you are. As far as a younger heavy metal band. I mean, I don't care how many younger heavy metal bands have attitudes and egos, and they say, "Oh, I don't need all this." Yeah, well, you can go on and think that all you want, but it all started here. And if you're in denial and you don't accept and respect these guys, I will never go see your band. That's my attitude, and I have a lot of them here in Houston. And
yeah.
I'm like, well, uh, here's a favorite word that we use down in the South. Kiss my ass.
One word.
Yeah, kiss my ass. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, because come on, this is the beginning of where it all started. Heavy metal started here with Ozzy, you know, and then it derived to, you know, when is Rob Halford's day? You see, that's the thing that I'm scared of, dude. Really?
Yeah, don't even go
I
there.
know,
So
right?
next topic, next
No,
topic.
no.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it is a,
Yeah, I mean, come on.
yeah, there's so many of our heroes and
Yes,
icons I mean, losing Paul Diano 2 years ago, like
dude.
that was a
Yeah,
shock.
right.
Yeah. So just too, yeah, I mean, but that's just of Dio. There's just the list goes on and on and on.
Right.
But I agree with you. Let's revere these people who shaped our lives, literally shaped who we are and our lives and stuff we listen to. That even crosses metal. I know we're talking a lot about metal, but like these guys, I think reach everyone. Like,
Well, I mean, what it is we're coming down to the people that really set the goal of heavy metal. This is the real life of heavy metal. And we know that. We're a family. We don't judge. We don't do anything like that. We are a family. And you know what? We should have our own country. That's what I've always thought. It's called Metal World. And then we don't deal with, and when you go to Walmart, all you hear is Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Kiss, yeah, Def Leppard. You know what I mean? Yeah. I really think that we should do that, like, yeah, but that's never going to happen. That's kind of like one of those episodes in one of those weird Twilight Zone things. Yeah. It's a metal world, yeah. Iron Maiden, Paul Diano's there. Yeah. Yeah. And the grocery sackers are like the younger kids that never really made it that big and Def Leppard guys, yay, here's your groceries, I mean, it would be cool. But yeah, that's in a fantasy world.
There's a mosh pit over by the produce. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. Yeah. No, I love it.
That's my banana. No, it's my banana. Yeah.
No, I love it, man. But but actually, I'm gonna switch gears for a second. You told me a
Okay.
story last time we talked, which I really want to touch on. It's like you told me a great story about Paris, about you've been to Paris. So really, this ties into what it takes to be a singer, like what the things you give up, the sacrifices, and what it takes. So you remember the story you're about
Yes.
Paris, about you in Paris?
Well,
So
here's
yeah.
the story about being a singer. Um, a lot of times you don't get to see uh, the beautiful sights of the world, whether it's Eiffel Tower or whether it's the Acropolis in Greece or whether it's some um, historic place in Germany. Because when you're a singer, you have to sleep for at least 10 hours a day. And you know what? Your sleep will it'll in effect with everybody else going, hey, we're going to do this. We're gonna Oh, well, what about James? Oh, no, no, no. Don't bother him because he'll get pissed off because he needs to sleep. You know, as a singer, you have to sleep 10 hours a day religiously. Um, my secret is this, which I've taught a couple of singers that were on tour with me, especially Amanda Kernan, and she knows it. And what I taught her was before you go to bed, gargle with the two aspirin, teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt, and you gargle with it. Yeah, I know. And we'll take another shot of Jaeger later. All right. But just get that over with. Right. And then she's like, I go, when you wake up in the morning, your voice is going to sound like an angel. And sure enough, she was like, oh my God. I go, see, I told you. So what it is, it's a surgical, it's scientifically proved. What happens is and so I'm saying this to all the singers. I don't have no problem. And I want you to post this for all the metal singers because you know what? I love you. because we have a generation to keep alive. And without you, I couldn't do it. And without this man, I couldn't do it. He's a good man. So I'm giving you my secrets right now. So what you do, and there's no, and you don't have to sign up like Facebook. Oh yeah, and 3 months supply, man, Viagra. Yeah, no, no. So what you do is you gargle with as hot water as you can stand, with 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 aspirin, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And when you gargle with it, you take it back as far as you can and you hit the highest note. It's, and then you go to bed. And when you wake up, you'll sing like an angel. Because what happens is your vocal cords are muscles. They are little muscles. So when you go to the gym, okay, so let's say you're a guy that goes to the gym every day. Yeah. Well, if you stop doing it, what's going to happen? You're going to have to start all over again, right? Well, your vocal cords are the same way. They're muscles. So if you don't use them, guess what happens? They fall
Mm.
asleep. But what you have to do to wake them up and then keep them nourished is do the gargle because they want to keep vibrating. Yeah. And they're happy. And guess what? I've done 30 shows in a row, and they were the most happiest little motherfuckers in the world.
Hi, everybody. This is Sam Saltman of Metal Invasion, and you should support SLAM. Support Life in Music benefits musician mental health through research and through SLAM Summit music survival guides. Thank you.
It
But you didn't
works.
always know this, though. Like 1985, 1983, you didn't know this.
I
Like,
didn't know any of this.
yeah. So at some point you had to figure it out. Otherwise, like you wouldn't have a voice now. I mean, I guess that's what I was
Well,
gonna say
see,
earlier. That I'm not gonna name names. We know some singers who have not done the things they needed to do, and they don't have the power anymore, and they don't have the voice anymore.
no, they don't. See, what happened to me is that I was taking opera lessons in the 80s, and she didn't know about the gargle. But what she did teach me is how to go to sleep at night and only sleep 10 hours a day and only drink champagne on stage. Like, that sounds expensive. Yeah, but it works for me. And so I was like, "Well, what does the champagne do?" She goes, the bubbles coat your vocal cords. Oh, I didn't know that. Yes, they do. So that's why you fancy motherfuckers are up there drinking champagne while I'm drinking goddamn fucking, Lone Star Light. Well, anyways, so it has a lot to do with that. And
Okay.
now that I look back, I'm like, I was professionally trained, I mean, and I knew it back then. But then as time went on, I was kind of like, really? I mean, so you drank champagne? I mean, my opera teacher, like, I'm thinking, like, "Mm, that's kind of weird. Like, like, okay, I like it. I like champagne. Shit, I love champagne. But, as time went on, like, okay, well, that turned into this, turned into that. And then the whole thing with, you know, breathing right and doing what you need to do. That's the main skill.
And what about, so we recently talked to a singer. What about warm-ups? What's your, like, right before the show? What do you do like when
Okay,
you're
so
going to go
what
on
I do
stage?
before a warm up, I have a glass of champagne, I watch a movie, and then I just start going, mm, mm," and I'm like, I just start doing things to my head. Yeah. Somewhere right where Jack flies. You didn't catch that, did you? I said, "Some over the rainbow, where Jack flies."
I don't think
Said
those are the
Jack.
lyrics, but I don't think those are the lyrics. But no, that's and you
Yeah.
know the Dorothy version, not the Izzy is.
There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Yeah, I can go on and on, but so I warm up like that. So it's kind of like I do things like that where where it makes me feel comfortable, and right before I go on stage, it puts me in a position where I feel like I'm ready to go out there and present myself, which is very hard at a lot of times because you don't really know how your voice is going to work. Is it going to be half-ass? Maybe you have a cold or whatever. But when I feel very strong, I'm like that. And I just smile when I walk out on stage. I go, "Hey," like, "Yeah, you ready? Let's do this thing." And then the crowd goes crazy. And the next thing you know, your voice is extremely higher than it normally should be. But, that's just by pure accident. It's because of how your soul feels at the time. When you're a singer, it doesn't always feel the same. Sometimes it can feel down, and then your soul is down. And when your soul is down, guess what's going to happen? Your voice is going to be down, and it's not going to project the way you want it to. And I've been there plenty of times. And you feel bad because you're like, "Oh, damn it. It wasn't." And I go backstage and I look at Larry and I'm like, "I'm sorry, guys." Like, "Hey, man, well, shit, we're already 29 days into the tour. Your voice is just not there no more. You need a day off." And you know what? And that's what happens. But you're human. See, what
Right.
a lot of people don't understand about being a lead singer, sure, you don't have a lot of weight. You don't have a lot of this. All you have is a little microphone. Lazy son of a bitch. Right. But what people don't understand is this is a part of your body. And if your part of your body doesn't feel good, this isn't going to feel good. So think about it. If you got the flu, you got COVID, do you think you could sing? No. There's no way in the world. What you do, it's affecting your body. So that's what a lot of people need to understand. Lead singers don't have it that easy, although everybody else thinks they do, but they don't. They have to be on target. They have to be physically fit. They have to make sure that they can do this constantly. Because if this doesn't work, the whole show is over. That's the truth about singers. And you know
Yeah.
what? I'm very proud to say that because I am a singer for 40 something years. And I know for a fact. Now, it's not an excuse. Yeah, I can make all the excuses in the world. Well, it's your fault you stayed up partying all night. It doesn't matter. The thing is, if this doesn't work, the rest of the band suffers. And that's why you have to understand this man or this lady 10 hours a day with no disturbance.
I've heard that from a
And
lot of
you know
singers.
what? And
Yeah.
if they refuse it, well, then that's their problem. But I never do. I love it because I love my cats. And I'm like, 10 hours, let's do this thing. Sorry, buddy, I won't talk to you for a month.
Does that make it
I
hard on the
know.
road?
And then,
Are you?
it gets mistaken as a lazy bastard. No, but you know what? It's all about
It's conditioning. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? And when you wake up, I can sing Don't Stop Believing. I'm good. That's what I do. That's my test. I get in the shower. Dance. Oh, yeah. Good. Well, when I can't do that, I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble.
But you, as a professional, though, you have ways to work around that. If you have a day where like, oh, sh I don't have it, I don't have my full range. You have ways, right, to compensate. So like, I can still deliver a show. I can still go up and perform and do everything I need to do. Just I gotta. I hate to use this phrase, but I gotta cut this corner or cut that corner because I can't maybe hit the full believe in. I can't hit the, I'm not hitting that. So what I'm asking is, like, do you have workarounds for those bad days where your vocal cords
Yes,
are
I know how to work around them. And you know
yeah.
why? Because I'm an Engelbert Humperdinck Tom Jones fan. And yeah, yes. All I do is I lower it. I go into a lower key.
Yeah.
And now I only had to do that twice in my life, Jack. I really did. And I had tonsillitis. It was in Springfield, Virginia. And I had to sing Helstar songs, Engelbert Humperdinck style. The king is dead. The king is dead. Da, 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 da. I should have got a gig in Vegas after that. But I was burning up with 105 fever, and my vocal cords were completely fucked. I had tonsillitis. And I was like, any high note I tried to hit, it was like, eh. I was like, sounded like Mariah Carey, yeah. And I was like, okay. And you know what was really nice is the club owner said, look, this guy has tonsillitis. He could have canceled, but he's going to come out here and do it anyways. And the crowd went nuts. So I did, The King is Dead. The King is Dead. Hey, we got some Frank Sinatra fans in the house, don't we? Yeah. And everybody went nuts and they just said, okay, whatever. But that's just once in a lifetime. And it was a very packed show. And I felt bad because I was like, well, I baptized in blood. We need a horn section. I'm baptized in blood.
That's the next
Yeah.
tour, right? That's the next Hellstar tour. It'll be
Yeah, yeah.
the Vegas versions.
Yeah. Well, hey, that may be happening soon. And a cruise ship. Woo.
Are you guys doing Planet Cruise? I know that's a thing. There's like this, are you
Well,
doing a
we're not confirmed for any cruise ships yet, but
okay.
yeah, I mean, we might be. And the one thing that bothers us about the cruise ship thing is that these guys only have so much vacation time. Um, we use that all up in a week, and so they'd rather tour, and I get it. Like, no, I mean, I don't know. You've been on 70,000 tons, have you?
I'm not actually. No, I've
Okay.
just heard the
Well,
reports.
it's the same bands over and over again, and it's on one ship. Well, then we're done. That's it. I'd rather go to Europe and tour all the other countries. You understand where I'm coming from? Like, okay, let's just do this instead.
But
You
next time
know,
you go, see the Eiffel Tower though. Next time you go. Don't skip the Eiffel Tower. Next
is
time.
that?
I said next time you go to Europe, make sure you see the Eiffel
I'm
Tower.
gonna go
Don't
see it, and you're gonna come with me.
All right, there you go.
We're gonna knock it down like King Kong.
So I have two more questions for James Rivera, aka Vampiro of Hellstar. So, well, first, uh,
Vampiro.
Vampiro. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
saying
there
it
you
wrong.
go. I'm gonna teach you
Vampiro.
Spanish. That way, when you
Okay,
come down here, we can have some enchiladas.
there you go. And champagne and enchiladas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of
Or
course.
when you come through Phoenix, yeah, when Hellstar comes through Phoenix, we'll definitely raise a glass for sure, and some
Oh,
enchiladas. We got
that's right. You're in Phoenix now,
yeah, it's
dude, where it's
111
burning
degrees,
up.
111 degrees right now. Yeah, but hey,
Yeah.
we have some good enchiladas here too. So
Yeah, yeah. They have some good stuff there.
yeah, hear me say it with my my New
Yeah,
Jersey
yeah.
accent, enchiladas. But yeah, so we'll talk. You have another very cool project aside from Helstar, which is a metal wave. Like I definitely want to give that a minute. Tell people what that's all about and the fun stuff that you do. I know you have a bunch of projects, but like that,
Right.
like metal wave is such a cool little project that you did a couple of years ago. Like tell us like if you're gonna do more with that and tell us people.
Oh, Metal Wave.
Yeah, yeah,
See, what happened is a lot of people sort of didn't like it, but at the same time, a lot of people did like it, which is you. And you know what? Here's the thing is that I was raised on all that stuff. And if it, you know what? It's a parallel line. And you know what? Dave Ellison loved it, of all people, because he saw us what we played with him. And he was like, dude, that was fucking insane. Hearing Depeche Mode and The Cure and all that, like metal, like he's like, dude, I've never seen that before. I said, well, what happened is, I said, look, I was always raised on The Cure. I was always raised on Depeche Mode. It was the '80s, and at the time we didn't appreciate it because we were metalheads and
right.
we were ignorant. Like, yeah, fuck those guys, just go kick their ass. They're a bunch of putos, you know. I bought every Depeche record, and I was like, okay, but let's not tell our friends because they're gonna kick our ass because they're into metal, you know. And I'm like, fuck that, dude. This is dark. You know, this is darker than metal. Well, it really was. Actually, it really was. When they started out, they were very dark. And that's what started Metal Wave. So, year, God, 50 years later, I said, Larry, you know, no one has ever done new wave metal. Well, what if we recreated it metal? Dude, I'm into it. And then he recreated Black Celebration. You know what, dude? And it's one of the best versions I ever heard. And I was like, and then we got signed. And the next thing you know, Metal Wave was born. And then we went on to Psychedelic Furs, The Cure, you know, and it just blew up. And we were, you know, thinking like, you know, this might be ridiculous. It might work. It may not. But as far as I'm concerned, I really don't care if it doesn't work. It's just the way I would like to hear these songs these days because I was a fan of this stuff. Always will be. Tears for Fears, dude. Our version of Everybody Wants to Rule the World is so dark that it's like people are like, oh, I've never heard it like this, you know? And then we did the Cure love song. Oh my God, the Peter Murphy Shock the Monkey. You know, so we took it to another level. And it didn't quite exactly hit the world at the way we thought it should because we knew that a lot of bands had done it, like Rammstein. That's how they got started. But you know what? It's not that important. The most important thing is if you listen to the versions of the songs we did, most people will say, wow, I wish I could have heard it this way. So we put a lot of love into it, especially the Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. That one really just touches me, you know, I mean, because it was done so differently, yet at the same way. So what we
Right.
did is we focused on not changing the vocal melody. All we did was change the music behind it that made it heavier and darker. And that's what I told them. I don't want to change because I want the people to still sing along when they come see us. Now, we actually did two very successful shows, and people were going, oh. what the hell? Like I never heard shit like this. If we'd have just kept going, maybe. But everybody got involved in their own thing. Hellstar had to do their own thing, and that's kind of where it left off. But I'm very
Well,
proud
yeah,
of Metal Wave. I mean, and it's still not it's not a thing that I may not do again. All I want to do is make sure that we're doing it at the right time, at the right place. And we need to do like gothic shows because it's a complete gothic show. Yeah, it's a complete, totally different from Hellstar and everything else. And you know what? And Larry was the most main composer, and Maurice, he was another one. And so we have our writers, and we've been talking and going, maybe when the time is right, you know. So what we're waiting for is that big gothic festival. We want Metal Wave, you know. Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation, but right now, I mean, Hellstar is priority.
understood.
We're waiting for
Yeah,
the, yeah, the new record's going to come out, and people are going to be blown away.
yeah, I can't wait. Actually, so yeah, so all right, you reminded me. So I have a well, so we're gonna leave off with the big secret about the new album. So which again, I haven't even heard it. I'm dying to hear it, but we're gonna leave off. That's gonna be our last thing. But before we get to that, so James, give this is this serious part. So this I ask this actually every Slam episode. So give your advice to people who are kind of in despair, not just musicians, but anyone who's kind of in despair and maybe having a hard time keeping it on and having and feeling good about themselves in the world. Like, what's your advice for people to kind of keep going and just find some happiness and peace with themselves? What's your advice?
My advice to people is this. Number one, are you serious about engaging into a realistic musician world, becoming a band, trying to make it out there in the world, right? My number one, find a good lawyer. Make sure you have everything in line because what happens when you don't do that, they come in, the snakes come in, and you get fucked like we did. I mean, think about it. Me and Larry talk about this all the time. We should have been bigger than Iron Maiden. We should have been bigger than Megadeth. But what happened? You didn't have the right reputation. You got fucked. See? And there's nothing wrong with our music, and you know that,
Right.
Jack.
Of
You're
course.
like, these guys should have been just up there. Well, once you get thrown off that ship and you have a a life vest that's deflated and you have to swim, yeah, that's what they give you. A deflated life vest. Oh, good. No, it's oh shit. Yeah. Well, you see that? That's like 100 yards over there. Hope you make it. Because if not, you're gonna drown. That's what happens. So for your younger cats, make sure you have your ducks in line with your lawyer and a good manager. You don't have a good manager, well then you have nothing. And you don't have a good lawyer, you have nothing. Because that's what they base everything on. You have to have everything in line. And guess what? It took me 25 years to figure it out. That's why I take care of everything now. And guess what? I have nobody else to blame but me if everything goes wrong. My band members, they blame me. And I like it. But you know what? So far, so good. And look how far I've gotten this.
Right.
That's the, see, I haven't really made a bunch of mistakes anymore. Yeah, once in a blue moon, I believe in certain people. And then guess what? Again, another stab in my heart. And I'm like, oh, you just fucked up. Kitty cats, get them. you know? Yeah, because you have to trust people in this business. You really do. And if you don't trust them, they're not going to get you anywhere. And if you don't trust them from the get-go, then get out now
You
because
gotta
they're
trust the right
never going to
people though,
do
right?
anything for you anyways. That's the secret. And you know it and you have to figure it out. So, I mean, I thought, about starting a management company and going, look, I've been successful for 40 years. I might be able to help a couple of bands. I'm helping out Larry's band. I'm helping out a couple of bands. I'm helping out Wicked Angel. And guess what? I got them successfully on every Crimson Glowy show. I produced them, this, that, me and Larry. So it's a matter of trusting people. And who are you going to trust the most? Someone that's already been through it and been through all that hell. Because let me tell you something, music business, yeah, no, it's hell. It is completely full of hell. And it's full of distrust and it's full of people that will just destroy you just because they want to. It may be for jealousy, it may be for whatever. I don't know. All I know is that I learned my lesson a long time ago.
I'm looking forward to hearing all these guest stars on the last track of the record. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm excited.
yeah, and that's the favorite song. Yes. Dude, have you heard it yet?
And no, I haven't heard it yet. No, I'm
Oh,
excited
then
to
I
hear
gotta
it.
send it to you.
Yeah. No, I'd love to hear it.
Dude,
Love to hear it.
it is like the ultimate anthem. It's like Hammerfall, step aside. We are the way. And everybody is singing on it. Rob Lowe, Jason McMaster. It is a masterpiece. I came up with the idea because of Dio when he did We're Stars. And so what I did was I said, let's get the best Texas metal singers. And that's what I did. And then I created the song. Me and Larry created it. I wrote all the vocal melodies and I had all the singers do the choir. And I went to every town with every one of them and said, I want you to sing like this, do that. And it's going to be the video. It's going to have all the Texas great singers. Jason McMaster, come on, Rob Lowe. I mean,
It's wild.
it's going to be amazing. Yeah. So it's called We Are the Way.
Can't wait
And
to.
it's kind of a story about, well, when Larry, he originally started writing it, it was about the devil. I said, that's kind of a negative thing. I said, what are we writing about the devil and vampires? Like, we're tired of your bullshit. Humanity is full of shit. Like a science fiction movie, right? And you know what? He goes, I like it. Yeah, I like it. I go, well, because the more we keep writing about the devil, I mean, we don't want to be classified. We never were classified as a satanic band. I don't want that. And I said, do you really want that on your back? I mean, we're not King Diamond. Yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, writing about darkness is one thing, but believing in it is another thing.